Hi everybody. Welcome back. So I was getting ready to go to the gym and I have a real love for procrastination before the gym. So I decided to make this video, which I'm actually really excited about this video. This is going to be a funny video. Not funny, but interesting, funny. And this is my pre-workout. And so by the time this video is over, I'll be motivated to get up and go to the gym. So this video is not funny. It's funny for me because I'm not somebody who, like, I'm kind of like anti artificial intelligence. Like, I'm one of those people that is kind of scared of it. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna like take over and kill us and turn us into their slaves or something. But before that day comes, might as well take advantage of the information. So I asked AI to take into consideration spiritual teaching books, spiritual texts, including the Bible and including the lost gospels that were like removed from it. And I don't know what century they were removed. I don't know. I also asked them to consider documents from the CIA and scientific documents. And I asked it to generate what would it do. Oh God, why can't I talk? I don't have it in front of me, so I'm trying to remember exactly what I asked it. I want to be specific. I said, what would you what would your ideal, how would you manifest? What was your formula be? And considering all those things. And it gave me a 6-step process, which is kind of cute that it like numbered it. And it's under 10 minutes, which I didn't limit it on anything. I gave it full. I didn't give it any limitations. It's 10 minutes. And I did it. And I was surprised because I do, I've been doing this stuff since I was either 18 or 19 when I discovered The Secret, and then obviously went from there. So I've kind of done it all. And I was surprised. Because it wasn't anything like groundbreaking, but I did like a lot of the reasoning behind some of like why some of the steps were there. Yeah, I liked it. And I actually had a very interesting response. I actually started crying, which, shocker, I'm always crying. But it wasn't happy and it wasn't sad. Because I've definitely been in, when you're visualizing, so you're there. You're like in that 5D moment. Like you don't even need it anymore. It's so real. And sometimes it gets emotional. And I've like cried tears of happy tears before with visualizations. And this wasn't a sad cry, like, I don't know why you would sad cry, but it wasn't that. You know what it was? It was very interesting. It literally, physically felt like I was getting pulled out of my dimension and placed in a new dimension. It felt like I was quantum jumping. And I have quantum jumped before, and I love it. It is wild. It's my favorite. I think it's like a little bit scary sometimes. Not scary, but it's, I don't know. It's like a wild card, but I love it because you feel it instantly. You know, sometimes you're manifesting and you're like, fuck, I don't even know if that like did anything. Like, I don't even feel different. And then like 2 weeks later, it like shows up and you're like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. And it's a very natural. You're like, well, maybe it would have happened anyways. It just feels very natural. I feel like when I quantum jump, I'm like, nothing about this feels natural. This shit is crazy. I literally feel everything shifting. You think differently. You don't have certain triggers anymore. You have like completely different motivation, like inspired action is just come in and you're taking it. That's to me like a quantum jumping is like there's no transition. You're just there. I love it. I think that is so cool. So that's what it felt like. And I haven't done that in a long time. And oof. So when I started crying, it literally felt like I was like releasing and leaving all the baggage, emotional BS, beliefs, memories of in that old reality. They couldn't come with me, and it was like a release. And it felt good. And it was completely unexpected. There was nothing forced about it. And I was like, what is happening? It was nothing profound. And when I get into the steps, there's really nothing profound. But here, let's get into it. So it was really cool. It quoted a lot of scripture. It quoted the Gospel of Thomas, which is one of the lost manuscripts taken out of the Bible, which I think is like so cool because the Gospel of Thomas is not a storyline book. It's literally just like a million different quotes on almost like the book of Psalms, like how it's just like this like very lovey-dovey like poetic. It's not a storyline. That's how I feel like the Gospel of Thomas was basically just like there to like a poem about manifesting almost. So I'm really glad that it included that. And then it also included a CIA document that has been declassified. And I had never heard of it, or if I had forgotten about it. It's called the Gateway Process. It was done at the Monroe Institute in 1983, and then it became declassified in 2003. And so basically what it was saying is in this, it gave me a 6-step process, and it said as a bonus, you can also include, it's called hemispheric synchronization, which is essentially so your brain is, left, right. This can be in one brainwave, whatever, theta. This will be in a different one, delta. You use binaural beats, and you would want a specific one for hemisync, and so now your brain waves come together. And I can get more into so that was like an additional option for the manifesting process. I did not do that. I think it would be awesome, and moving forward I probably would. I was just like really excited to do the process, so I just didn't even do it. But all you'd have to do is get your earbuds, go on YouTube, look up hemisync binaural beats, find a good one, and it would sync your brainwaves, and then you would do this process. Okay, so basically what the Gateway Process did, their findings were: consciousness is not confined to the body, reality is a hologram, time is an illusion, Manifesting is rooted in physics. Resonancy and frequency is everything when it comes to manifesting. And essentially, what I was talking about is when you're syncing these two parts of your brain, that is called, I wrote all this down in coherence. So left, right, brain sync together, coherence, but also you can also have coherence with like your brain and your heart, because it's all like electromagnetic waves that are being sent out all the time, or your thoughts, which also hold a certain pattern of wave. So you're trying to sync two things together, and I could like definitely see how that happened in this process. It definitely was like my visual was syncing up with my heart because I got emotion, which I think I could see how that was synced together. And then they talk about, so coherence is like an internal syncing of two parts, and then resonance is when your frequency is now matched up with what you want, and kind of brings, so like your thoughts or visualizations or your emotions are going out and syncing up with what it is that you want in the outside world, and then that kind of pulls it in faster. That's my wave. So anyways, I thought that was super interesting. I'm not going to go into any more detail. If anybody thinks that's cool, I would love to make a video on the details of that, because it was cool. They had like remote viewing and all this stuff. It's declassified. You could go find it if you're interested. So let's get into the process. Okay, step 1 is 1 minute of deep breathing to center yourself. They said put your hand over your heart and take 3 deep breaths. And you could say this out loud or in your head, but this is what it prompted. Be still and know that I am God. I quiet my mind. I align my heart. I return to the knowing that I am the image of the Creator. And so you sit there, and I repeated that for a couple, maybe like 3 cycles, did deep breathing, which I used to always like skip like the breathing stuff. In the gateway process, they talk about a lot about how important breath work is to get into altered states of consciousness. So don't skip the deep breathing. So breathing in through your nose. I like to release through the mouth. You can do whatever you want. Okay, 1 minute of that. Next, declare desires. Desire. And this is what it wrote. I am now living in alignment with my highest vision. I see it. I feel it. It is real now. And then it said to go into detail and emotion of what and state in the present. So I just said that first part, and then I would say in the present state, whatever I wanted to manifest. So for example, I am financially free now. I have no debt now. I am living my ideal life now. I have my ideal business now. I am making more money than I ever thought possible now. Okay, so to do that for 1 minute, which naturally progresses into the next step. So I kind of combined these 2 steps, but the next step, the 3rd step, is amplify with emotion. Feel joy, feel gratitude, feel love now. When I went into my, expression of my desired state, I said a lot of things. I went all in, and I was closing my eyes, and I was getting visuals, and so it did have a emotional response of just like happiness and gratitude. So if that doesn't come naturally, I think try to invoke it. So amplify with emotion. I feel joy. I feel love. I feel deep gratitude. I said this stuff out loud, by the way. This feeling is my signal to the universe. And then it said to smile and let your heart open and breathe it in. And so I sat and then I went back and I stated my desires again. I'm financially free now. I'm living my best life now. Whatever it is. And then I went and I would say these two parts over again. I would say the step 2 again. I am now living in alignment with my highest vision. I see it. I feel it. It is real now. And then I would go into my affirmation, or whatever you want. I would go into my stating my desire in real time. I'm financially free now. That's my example. And it did say to go into it in detail. And so I did. I'm not going to do that now, but I did. And then I would go back and say step 3 prompt again. I feel joy. I feel love. I feel deep gratitude. This feeling is my signal to the universe. And then smile, breathe it in. And so I did. I sat there, and this was only supposed to be about like 1 to 4 minutes, and I sat there for like probably 7 minutes because it just naturally was flowing, and that is when I felt a huge release. It was really cool. Then step 4. Affirm belief. Rewire doubt into certainty. And so I would say this out loud. And I had my heart on my hand the whole time. And I just realized I forgot to say this. Step 1, when you're centering yourself and you're doing your breath work, it said to see a white light kind of come down and like over your head, connecting with like a white light. And normally I feel like I would kind of like not do the breathing, not do the visualization, but I did it. And I can see how it's like important. I think it is important. I don't know why, but I feel like it did something. Okay. Sorry, go back to step 4, affirming belief, rewiring doubt into certainty. And I said, what I believe, I receive. I am worthy. I am chosen. I am powerful. As I think in my heart, so I become. I believe it is done. And I just said that like 2 or 3 more times, kind of grounding into the belief, affirming it and grounding it into the reality. Now at this point, I already felt like a huge shift. So it was very easy for me to kind of ground myself into that newer placement. Yeah, I felt different. The crying and the release was probably maybe 2 minutes. And once that was done, I did one more over of stating my desires, feeling it. And I didn't feel like there was any more release. I didn't feel like there was anything else there. And so that's when I moved on to this. So it was easy to affirm the belief because there was things moving in me. I could feel like a physical response. I'll make another note that in the gateway process, when it talks about coherence, of kind of joining together the electromagnetic field of your heart and your brain, that's almost what it felt like was happening. And also I was getting moved into a different dimension. So it was cool. Okay. So there's that. 5th step, inspired action. Now, this I think is just like a good thing to say out loud, but I also took this into my the rest of my day. But I said, today I take aligned action. I listen for guidance. I follow intuition with confidence. And I will say there were so many things that I mean, this was less than 24 hours ago, and I was like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, yeah, I need to do this. Oh, yeah, text this person, do this. And it wasn't even until I was like in the middle of the action, I was like, oh, this is inspired action. This is because I'm a different version of myself that wouldn't think to take advantage of these opportunities or pursue this or have it. Very, very interesting. I love it because I think it just helps build your faith, because you're like, this was here in front of me this whole time, but I wasn't in the version of myself that could like see it properly, so I had to become that version first, and then it all became so obvious. It was all sitting in front of me. Very cool. I thought it was very cool. So yeah, so even though this is the 5th step, I feel like I took that into the rest of my day and was kind of just like open more for whatever guidance I felt led to. Okay. And then the final step, the 6th step, let go and trust. Again, I had my hand over my heart and I just said this just like as a just a way to like ground me, and like I like the like physical, like doing something physical for each step to like kind of, I don't know. I don't like doing everything all mental. I kind of like having a physical. So I just said this stuff out loud. Surrender to the how and when. Okay. I said, I release control. I trust the process. The unseen is shaping the scene. All is unfolding in perfect timing. And then it said, exhale, let it go with peace. And in this part, sorry, again, in this last part, it said to envision a gold light circle around you. And so I did that. And I sat there for about a minute and I just said that over and over again. I release control. I trust the process. The unseen is shaping the scene. All is unfolding in perfect timing. Exhale, let it go with peace. And I did. And then I felt really good after that. I loved it. And then the AI gave me like a little, it said like, here's like a summary of what we just did. It says, I see it, I feel it, I believe it. Sorry, this is like chicken scratch. I cannot read my own writing. I take action in faith. I release, I give thanks, it is done. So I really liked that. And then like throughout the day, if this didn't happen, but I could see like if something came up and I was like, I underlined some of the things that it said. I believe it is done. So I feel like that could be a good affirmation if things come up that you're kind of like wavering. And all is unfolding in perfect timing. It is done. I really liked that. It is done. It's done. Release it to God. Yeah. So because I know that was kind of like abstract, I will copy and paste this in the notes. Literally exactly what the AI gave to me and how I interpreted it and how I did it. So I did that yesterday. It took me like maybe the first time I did it, I savored it. I kind of stayed and went longer, but really this is anywhere from like 6 to 10 minutes. And I enjoyed it so much that I did it again in the afternoon. And I did it in the evening. I kind of fell asleep, so that's my bad. I always do that. And then I did it once this morning. And I haven't done it with the Hemisync. Sorry, that was my dyslexia coming out. Hemisync binaural beats. I could see though, like that would be awesome. And yeah, and I just totally felt like such a difference. Like I just thought differently. I was calmer. You just, yeah, I feel like when you shift, sometimes you just know. Yeah, I wasn't like, you know, I didn't have like the same anxious behaviors that I have sometimes. Yeah, I just completely felt different. And mind you, I went through everything. I went through my whole, I went through when I was stating my desires, I was stating what I wanted in my love life, where I wanted to live, what I wanted to drive, my health, what I wanted to look like, how much money I wanted in the bank. I stated, like for my businesses, for my clients. And then at the end, I just did a couple little I am affirmations. I am loved, I am respected, I am honored, all that stuff. I am safe. And it didn't feel like I really needed to do a bunch of I am, but I just did it for self-concept purposes. And also coming out of it, I definitely felt like self-concept was, you know how sometimes we just want to focus on like what we want to focus on. We just want to focus on like the specific person or the job or the car. And sometimes it's like kind of annoying to be like, I love myself, Coming out of this, I was like, oh, dude, there's only me. I didn't even care about really like other people, or like I knew everybody was me, and I could just kind of like almost see in the 5D more, like the 3D. Like I didn't care. Like who showed up, who was talking to, like I just did not care. And it was interesting, and I wanted and was like drawn to self concept way more, to the point where things like that would make me cringe. I can't do like mirror work. It makes me cringe. I was in the mirror and I wasn't even saying like, oh, I am loved by everybody, I am blah blah blah. I was like, I love you. Like what was I saying? I want to remember exactly because I was going through, but how do I say this? Yeah, I basically was like, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I think you are so great. I am just like obsessed with you. And I was like, I literally loved myself, and I was kind of obsessed with myself, and I didn't care about anybody else. Like I was like, no, like you're so cool. I'm so proud of you. I'm so like impressed by you. I trust you. I love you. I respect you. Like to myself in the mirror, which, whew, girl, in the past, I've been trying this stuff like for years. It's so cringy sometimes. And I was just like in love with myself in the mirror. I just was like, oh my God, you're so awesome. Weird. And I still feel that way. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm always like adding in self-concept at the end, but I was like, that's all I wanted to do. Because I knew nobody else was real. I was the only real thing in this reality. And I was like, you're so cool. Like I just love you so much. And like you did such a good job, and like you're so smart, and like, yeah. It was not coming from an egoic place. Sometimes we can affirm like very egoic, like everybody says me. I didn't even want to say that. Like I didn't want to say some of my old self-concept affirmations because I was like, No, that feels egoic. I genuinely was just uh, really happy with myself. Um, and yeah, that was a very interesting shift. I would be so curious if anybody else does this and has a different experience than they normally do when they're, you know, doing their affirmations or their self-concept work or whatever. Because this does not sound, to me, this is not like, this is not like mind blowing. This is like all stuff that like I knew. And I was super like happy with my results. And I was like taken aback a lot by it. So I would be, so like, don't discredit it because it sounds very basic. And just like do the steps and I'm just hope that it is a good, I hope that it like people do it and like I want to know if it helped anybody. Okay, I think I'm like adequately cracked out now. I drank like half of that. And I normally only do half of a pack of these little pre-workouts and I did the whole thing. That was a bad idea. I'm a little cracked out. But yeah, now I'm all jacked up on this and I want to like, yeah. So yeah, huge shift in, I feel like I literally shifted timelines, quantum jumps, huge shift in my perception of the 3D. Like I literally did not care about, and I still don't. Yeah, I just like cared about myself. I was just like so in love with myself. And that is such a good place to be in, and also feeling like the calmness and certainty of knowing like God is going to like unravel this and you're going to live this out. Like it's all unfolding now and it's happening now. Really takes a lot of the anxiety out. And I think that does bring it in faster. So if I get a G-Wagon next week, you guys, this shit is legit. That was like my dream car. And I even know who I'm going to buy it from. There's this really funny guy on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I don't know his name. And he does these really funny, like, girl, video, like, I'm going to butcher it, but he's just really funny. He just, like, markets it to, like, typical girls. And he's like, you know, I don't know, like, whoopsie, like, you know, when you're like curbing, whatever. Anyways, I hope he's local in California because when I manifest my G-Wagon, I'm buying it from him. I even wrote on his thing, if I can find his handle, I'm gonna put him because his videos are so funny. He's like this car salesman, just like total normal guy. And he's like, hey, girly pop, like Mercedes isn't just for the boys. Anyways, his content is fucking gold. I sit there and like spit out my drink. Like he's so funny. Okay. If you're a girl, he's funny. If you're a guy, you're like, anyways, so when I manifest my G-Wagon, I'm buying it from this guy and I'm like putting it forward now. Because yeah, dude, I totally shifted timelines yesterday. I'm getting a fucking G-Wagon and all the other cool stuff. I don't like saying like too much detail. I feel like a car is a car, like whatever. But yeah. Okay, now I'm just rambling because I'm like kind of high off of this. I really enjoyed this. In fact, I'm going to do this one more time before I go to the gym. I feel like if you did this 3 times a day, even twice, you are just like rooted and planted in this new identity. Oh, another thing is like I woke up and I almost felt like I understood the character that I am now. Like if I was like method acting, whereas like maybe yesterday or a week ago, I wouldn't know how this girl, like I was trying to like embody this girl, especially with like my business. I have like a couple I have like a couple businesses, and I was just like coming up blank on some of the stuff. And it's like I woke up today and I was her. Very interesting. Yeah. Okay. I'm rambling. I'm just really happy. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, I'm so happy. I hope you guys try it. I will literally, I'm not joking, I'm going to put exactly what the AI told me. I'm going to put it in the little notes. And if I can find that funny guy, oh my God, that guy's so funny. Go buy your Mercedes from this man. He is so funny. If I can find his thing, I'm going to tag him. He's so funny. On Instagram. I don't think he's on YouTube. Okay. Wish me luck at the gym. Thanks for listening. Bye.